We're trialling the Italian pergola system. In Italy, they grow all their table grapes under the pergola system, but we've sort of adapted it to the Australian conditions. I travel a bit, I've been all around the world. This was the only system I've seen around the world that we could adapt to Australia and be viable with the wage system we've got. In Italy, they all wrap all their canes on up here, and I just felt it was going to be a bit expensive for the Australian labour and to get people to do it above their head. So we've just trialled it down here, and we can actually lift the wire up over the next year or two to make it 100% the Italian pergola. The main benefits we were going for was to get the fruit in earlier and better quality, and we achieved both. Because it was covered, we had no wind damage on the fruit. The fruit was just spectacular. It looked magnificent. Our only problem with the fruit this year, it wasn't up to size. If we had got it to the size we wanted it, we would have got an extra 25%, 30% premium. In Chile, they've had the same problem. They put it down to not enough humidity through the canopy. We're going to put a cooling system through the hothouse this season for that reason. Disease is another thing you've got to be very careful of. Downy mildew can be a problem. Just got to be more aware of what's going on inside the hothouse compared to the outside. We're just trying something different. We want something different in the marketplace. Our property here is set up for export. In China, they go berserk for good, sweet crimson. And by coming in 2 weeks earlier, it gives us another avenue of being in the marketplace earlier, setting our brands up and kicking off our season for the rest of the stuff. Because of the growing conditions, in the hothouse everything just takes off like a racehorse, and the nodes are too far apart. That's one of the reasons we have to be very careful with our fertigation and water management to try and hold the vigour back. This is out in the field, basically. This cane here has grown after we've taken the covers off and things have come back to normal. That's the difference. The spacings, in 12 inches we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 buds. Over here we've got 3. So that's what we're looking for. You've got to be careful with that, because if it's too far apart, you're not going to have enough fruitful buds. And that's another reason why we take the covers off, so we get the sunlight in and to get the development, get the fruitfulness in the buds. If we leave the canopy on too long, when it's not needed, we won't get the fruitfulness for the next season. Flowering finishes a week after flowering, get it off, and that way then it also takes out the disease issues. You get back to normal environment. We had the heat wave in October, November this year. All of a sudden we were at 20, 22 degrees, cool mornings, 7, 8 degrees. Overnight we've gone from that to 35, 40 degrees for 2 weeks. At the start of flowering, this patch here was actually, we believed, was our best patch at flowering on the whole property. We actually got our flowering spray, thinning sprays on the vines. When the fruit shattered, it just went to all hen and chicken. It was just a total disaster. We've never seen a year for table grapes like what we've had this year. We're down on 2009 figures, we're down by 70%. And that's the reason why we're looking at going to the hothouse, is to eliminate the weather factors. If we've got it under cover, get it in earlier, there's no wind blemish, more even flowering, just to eradicate some of these issues. Irrigation, we believed we've saved 15 to 20% on water. You'd put the drippers on in here, and you'd have the drippers going on the corresponding patch outside. In the hothouse, the moisture would still be there for a week. It's still sitting on the ground. When we bring everything into perspective, like we do cover our grapes anyway in another cheaper cover, I reckon it'll be about 50% more than normal trellis to put up. And we're coming in 2 weeks earlier, hoping for a 25 to 30% premium on our fruit. I think there's an opportunity for the system in Australia if we can grow it right. It is a different world. It's a whole different ball game than the outside, but it's very exciting.
If you want to know more about this program, contact your Industry Grower Association or the DPI Customer Service line. 136 186.